Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and hello if you're new here, welcome. Please make sure you subscribe before you leave, that would be absolutely amazing. So today's video is going to be a products I regret buying video. I've been seeing so many people make these videos and I personally find them so interesting because there's obviously so much new makeup that comes out all of the time, and if you're anything like me and just feel the need to buy literally everything, then you're probably going to come across some products that you actually do regret purchasing. And I think it's really interesting to see, you know, what people have bought and they wish that they didn't buy. So I was having a look through my collection this morning and I managed to gather together some products that I do regret buying for one reason or another. This isn't to slate these products and say they're rubbish products or rubbish brands. All of these brands I've actually got other products from that I absolutely swear by and love. And yeah, this is all just like my personal opinion, my personal experience with the products. If you really love this product that I'm about to show, then fair dues, you know, things work differently for different people and all of that jazz. So I've actually got quite a lot of like eyeshadow palettes and eyeshadow products in this video. For whatever reason, clearly I buy eyeshadow products on a whim and don't really do my research before I actually purchase them, clearly. So the first product that I actually want to talk about that I do regret purchasing, and the reason why I regret purchasing this is purely because I just don't use it. You know, one of those products where it's not necessarily bad and you don't hate it, but you just don't use it. So it wasn't worth the money and I don't get enough use out of it. This is the Huda Beauty. This is the Desert Dusk palette. Obviously, I'm sure you've already seen this palette a million times before because Huda Beauty palettes are literally like all over the internet. It's actually a really beautiful palette, and to be honest, I don't know why I don't reach for this more, but for me personally, I just don't use this palette. I don't know what it is. When I look at it, I don't really get that inspired by the colours. I don't really know why. It's just, for me, a little bit of a meh palette. Also, the pigmentation on some of the shades. Oh, that's actually really good pigment. Okay, let me try this one. So like, for example, this one. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I have tried this palette a few times before, and for whatever reason I've not been like obsessed with how my eyeshadow has turned out, and I just find that I just don't reach for this. Obviously Huda Beauty palettes are quite expensive. I think this was about £56, although I think I did buy it in some sort of sale, so I didn't pay the full price, which is obviously better. But yeah, it's weird because I absolutely love the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. It's one of my favourite palettes of all time, but for whatever reason this palette just doesn't really cut it for me, and I just don't ever get use out of it. So I'll probably be passing this along to someone else who would prefer it more very soon. I've got my little dog sitting here, by the way, so if you see a little black nose pop up every now and then, that will be her. Okay, so the next product that I want to talk about is actually another palette, but this is a lip palette, so just deviating away from eyeshadow palettes for the second. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip palette. Again, I think I bought this one on a sale, so I'm quite glad that I didn't pay full price for this, so it's not sort of too bad. However, again, I just don't ever reach for this. I don't know why, because whenever I do use it, I really love the formula, the colours that you can get out of this. Obviously you can mix and match your shades as well. It's a really beautiful palette, but I think for me personally with lipstick, I would much prefer to just have it in a normal traditional lipstick tube, because if I'm putting lipstick on before leaving the house, like if I was to use this for example, then I can't take this with me to then like reapply, so then I'd have to take a different lipstick to reapply throughout the day, and in that case I'd rather just wear that lipstick at the beginning of the day, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just don't really find myself reaching for this. If you're a freelance makeup artist, I think that you would absolutely love this because it is a really lovely formula and the colours in here are insane, but I don't really do freelance anymore, so this for me just doesn't really get much use, and it was obviously quite pricey because it's Anastasia. So yeah, I just regret buying this slightly. I'm glad that I have it so that if I ever need it for any kind of cool fancy looks or whatever, I have it, but yeah, it just doesn't get used enough in my opinion. Okay, so the next product I regret buying, I actually regret buying this for a slightly different reason. So this is the Dull Beauty. This is the highlighter in Like a Diamond, and it's such a shame with this one because I absolutely love the way this highlighter looks on my cheeks. So in terms of the way it actually looks, I love it and I don't regret buying it at all in that sense because I think it's beautiful. However, mine has completely shattered into about 1 million pieces. I'm not going to hold it up too much in case I literally spill it all over the floor. I literally was just keeping this like in my makeup drawers, and I don't even know how this smashed. It just smashed. I think because the formula is so soft, it just smashed. And I've spoken to a few other people who have these highlighters and they say the same thing, like they smash really easily, and other people's have smashed as well. So I don't want to order a new one for that reason. And I just feel like this isn't the most cheap highlighter. I think these are about 16 or 17 pounds. So if you're paying that amount of money for a highlighter, you actually want it to not smash. Like, I'd only use this a few times before it smashed. I just feel like in that case it's not worth the money. And there's other highlighters that I've had for years and they're fine, they haven't smashed or anything like that. So yeah, just for that reason alone, I do slightly regret this one. I would definitely prefer to pick up a different one over this one if this is just gonna smash all of the time. Okay, the next product that I regret buying is the e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream. Now, I don't necessarily regret buying this. I know that's the title of the video, so this is in the video, so clearly I do. The reason why I'm putting this in this video is purely because this cream works fine. Like, it's fine. However, I find with this cream, for whatever reason, I don't find it sinks into my skin very well. Like, when I put it on, it's quite a thick kind of like white cream, and when I put it on and rub it in, I have to rub it in for a really long time before I feel like it's sunk into my skin enough, if that makes sense. So I just don't really like the application process of this, if that makes sense. It doesn't do anything weird to my skin, it doesn't break me out, it sits fine underneath makeup from what I've seen before when I've used it, but just for the reason that it just doesn't really apply that well to my skin, and I'm kind of there for ages trying to rub it in. I just don't like that, and it puts me off of using it. And to be honest, I have so much skincare and so many moisturizers that if I don't really like using one as much as my others, then it kind of just gets pushed to the back because I have so many moisturizers to use up and so many that I love. So I'm always obviously going to go for them ones over this one. So yeah, this was only about £12, so it's not the most expensive moisturizer in the world, so it's not too bad. I'm glad that I tried it. I do actually really love e.l.f. products. They're probably one of my favorite drugstore brands, like in general, but this one just doesn't really get used too much, so yeah. Okay, the next products that I actually regret buying, I've had these for so long and they've literally just sat in my collection and barely done anything. So these are the Huda Beauty, what are these even called? These are the matte and metal melted eyeshadows. So I'm sure again you've seen these all over Instagram and YouTube before. These are basically liquid eyeshadows. You get a matte side on one end and a shimmer side on the other end. I bought these again in some sort of sale, so I didn't pay full price for them. I think I got them for like half price, so that's actually a really good deal. However, I personally just don't really reach for these. I don't really use them that often. I think the reason being is because the formula just isn't my favorite. The matte side of these, I find they're quite hard to blend. I've tried it in a few different ways where I've kind of like patted it on with my finger, or I've blended it out with a brush. I've used it over the top of powder eyeshadows underneath, and I just can't really figure out a way that I like the way it looks on my eyes, or prefer the way it looks on my eyes to a normal powder eyeshadow. And also the sparkly side just isn't sparkly enough for me. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Stila Magnificent Metal eyeshadows, but those ones are like pure glitter but in a liquid form, so when you put them on, it's literally like you've got loose glitter on your eye but without the mess and without the fuss. However, with these ones, they are nice, don't get me wrong, like that looks really nice, but they're just not giving me what I want. I want glitter, I want, you know, a little bit more shine, a little bit more sparkle, and these are just kind of a bit meh. I don't know. I've got them in 3 shades, and to be honest, I never really reach for any of these, so it's a bit of a shame. I absolutely love Huda Beauty products in general, but these just don't really cut it for me, unfortunately. Okay, the next product that I regret buying is actually purely my own fault, and I can't even blame anyone else for this. It's just purely my own fault because I just didn't do my research or didn't even like test the product or whatever on my hand before I bought it. This is the Pixi by Petra Glittery Eye Quad. So I actually picked this up from M&S. When I first saw it, I just fell in love with it because I don't know if you guys have realised, but I literally love glitter and shimmer and anything sparkly. I just live for it. So when I saw this, I thought it was right up my street. It was like a really nice kind of glitter eye palette that I could press on top of other eyeshadows, and I was just living for it. But they didn't have a tester, so I didn't actually try any of the shades on my hand. So I just kind of bought it. What's that phrase I'm looking for? I bought it on impulse. Wait, that doesn't sound right. I impulse bought it you guys know what I mean. I bought it without trying it basically, and when I got home and tried it, they actually feel very kind of chunky and just not how I expected them to feel actually looking at them in the pan. So that's what it kind of looks like swatched. But then if I kind of, you can kind of see, I don't know, it's quite patchy. I feel like I've probably not done that very good justice because you're probably supposed to use these with like a glitter glue and pat them on. So I could try and make these work, I think, but I just prefer the kind of easier application of, like, for example, the Stila ones, like I mentioned earlier, where you literally just put them on and it's just no fuss, but you look like you've got a really beautiful kind of loose glitter on your eye. And these are just a little bit too like sheer. It kind of has a little bit more of a sticky kind of balmy feel to the actual base of the eyeshadow, which I don't love, and I feel like that would sit quite funny on top of other eyeshadows. I don't know, let me actually try and play around with this, because to be fair, I haven't really given it a fair chance. I haven't actually used this on my eyes before, only on my hand, but I've literally had this for like nearly a year and I've never touched it, so that to me tells me that I probably shouldn't have bought it. Okay, so I have one more eyeshadow palette that I quickly want to talk about, and I was actually kind of unsure if I wanted to put this palette in this video or not, because I'm kind of still on the fence with it, but I do want to put it in this video just purely because I bought this a while ago and I just haven't really got the use out of it that I wanted to get out of it. I thought that I would use this a lot more and I kind of haven't, but I do need to play around with it probably a little bit more still. But anyways, this is the 35C Morphe palette. This is the Everyday Chick palette. This is what it looks like. Morphe came out with this a good few months ago now, and again I did that thing where I saw it, I didn't see any reviews about it, didn't hear anyone talk about it, didn't see any swatches. I literally just ordered it straight away on a whim because I just thought that the colour story of this just looked insane. You've got some really nice greens in there, some purples, you've got some glitters, you've got some shimmers. I just thought that this looked like a really nice palette, and I think this was about £24, so really not that expensive considering how many shades you actually get. However, I've used this I think twice since I've got it. I've got it on today, and actually it's funny because I'm actually obsessed with the way my eye makeup came out today, and I used this palette, so I was kind of like unsure whether to put it in this video because I kind of used it and loved it. However, I feel like the actual pigmentation of these shadows for whatever reason are just not that great, and I would usually get this look a little bit easier using some of my other palettes, whereas this I really had to kind of build it up and kind of pack the colour on, pack the shimmer on and all of that kind of stuff to get it to look the way it looks. So even though it looks nice now, I feel like the colours, they're just not pigmented enough for my personal preference, and I just find myself not really reaching for this for that reason, because I like really pigmented eyeshadows so I can just whack them on. They're really super easy, and this just isn't that, and this also has a lot of fallout as well. So for example, if I just swatch this shade here, which is a really nice lilac, I don't know if you can tell, you can't tell to be honest, but it just feels quite chalky. You'd kind of have to feel it, like you can sort of see the swatch there. It isn't really like a beaming swatch. It's just kind of a little bit chalky and a little bit dry. I would prefer these to be a lot more creamy, a lot more pigmented, and they're just not. I find Morphe palettes really hit and miss in general. I was hearing someone else talk about this. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Robert Welsh on YouTube, but I was hearing someone else basically say the same thing, where they find Morphe palettes like really hit and miss. One can be amazing and then the other one can be not so great, and I just found this one not so great. So even though I've got it on today and I really like the way it looks, I just don't personally think that I need this in my collection, and I'll probably be giving it away at some point. Okay, and the last product that I just really quickly want to talk about is actually this product here. This is literally the most TikTok and Instagram and just social media in general famous lip balm. This is the, I don't know how to say this, Laneige, oh my god, that was actually embarrassing. Laneige. I don't know how to say it. I've never heard anyone say this, but I've just seen it everywhere. Anyways, this is the lip sleeping mask, and I have this in the scent Berry. I saw this so much online that I felt compelled to buy it, and that's really stupid, but I ordered this off of Amazon. I think it was about £13, so it wasn't like the most inexpensive lip balm ever, but it also wasn't the most expensive. The reason why I'm putting this in this video is purely because I don't really find this actually hydrates my lips that much. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there's some lip balms where you put them on and you feel like they're actually really hydrating your lips. Like when they wear off, your lips actually still feel hydrated underneath afterwards. However, with this, I just feel like it's that kind of balm balm where it just sits on top of your lips and doesn't actually kind of hydrate your lips. Kind of feels a bit like Vaseline to me, and I don't like Vaseline. Vaseline does nothing for my lips. If anything, it makes them more dry, and I feel like this is similar sort of vibes. It's not as bad as Vaseline. I just don't feel like this is worth the hype, this is worth the money. I feel like there's so many amazing lip balms out there. I've literally tried pretty much every lip balm in the world. That's why I felt like I needed to buy this, because I've said this before, I have like such dry lips. So I'm constantly like looking for new lip balms that are just gonna like change my life. And this one just didn't really do that. So that's why I'm putting it in this video. The scent of it's really nice. I love the packaging. I think it's super sleek. It even came with this little spatula to kind of like scoop it out with. Not that I bother with that, but it's a nice touch. I will continue to use it just because I don't want to waste it, but I just don't feel like it does much for my lips. It just kind of sits on the top, makes them a little bit slippery, smell nice, and then that's it. And I still feel like my lips are dry when I wake up in the morning after using this. So a little bit of a shame, but yeah, I thought I'd just mention that one as well. Okay, and that is it, guys. That is all the products that I have that I regret purchasing. As I said at the beginning, if these are any of your like favorite products, please don't take offense. This is just my personal opinion, and as I said, like everything works differently for different people. So what works well for me might not work well for you, and vice versa. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do let me know, and I can definitely film some more in the future. And also give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be absolutely amazing. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.